So for class 8 lesson 1, reading and analysis of maps. In this video I am going to take in the history of maps, that is the maps down the ages. Here only two maps are discussed. Basically it is the world as conceived in ancient India and in ancient Greece. So only two maps are discussed. Now look here, this is map 2. Round world surrounded by water as conceived in Mahabharata. So during Mahabharata time they have prepared a map. Right round they have marked as water, like Milky Ocean, Salt Ocean and all. And there you have given Bharatavarsha. And then you have Himalaya, Himavata then Kailasa. This is Meru. Meru is nothing, Pamir Knot. I'll just show you what is it, Pamir Knot. There's a mountain ranges to the north, that is in between from Himalayas till the middle of Asia. You're having Pamir Knot. Here they have given you can see those lines going, they are mountain ranges and it's given Pamir Knot there. A little more clear picture, Pamir Knot, Tian Shan, Plateau of Tibet and Himalaya. So this is the central of Asia. That is why they had given the name as Meru, M-E-R-U. You can see in all the maps they have given you Meru. Even that Mahabharata first map what had shown you, there also you are having Meru. So Meru is nothing but this Pamir Knot. Okay, it's like a knot. Knot means tied up together. So it's here you are having 4 mountain ranges they have shown. Knot means nothing, it's tied up together. Mudiyadam, like so all the mountain ranges are tied up. Here again the same picture you can see here, Himalayas, Pamir, Bactria. So here there are mountain ranges, all are tied up together. That's why this is called Meru. Meru is nothing but Pamir Knot. So mountain Sumeru also they have given, and is the Pamir Knot. Pamir is called a knot because it is a convergence of one of the major mountain ranges of the world, including Tian Shan, Karakoram, Kulun, Hindu Kush and the Pamir system. So all the mountain ranges together, tied up together. That's why it's called Pamir Knot. It's also called Mount Sumeru or Meru. Okay, you have seen in the first map also. Now Puranic description. As per Vedic cosmology, the 7 continents of the Puranas are stated as Jambu Dvipa, Palakas Dvipa, Salma Dvipa, Kusa Dvipa, Kaurakanda Dvipa, Sakha Dvipa and Pushkara Dvipa. Okay. Now these are all actually names of trees. All are names of trees. Now you can see the map next, which will show you the names of the trees there. So here the possible location of the 7 Dvipas according to the Purana. So they have drawn trees, pictures of trees here, different trees, fig tree and all. So the 7 Dvipas of the world as conceived in the ancient India was located on one of the Dvipa known as Jambu Dvipa. So were on Jambu Dvipa. Bharatavarsha, can you see the Bharatavarsha? Now look here the names they have given. There are 7 Dvipas, and the list of 7 Dvipas in Mahabharata: Jambu, Indian blackberry, Allanai Pandu, Palaksha, people tree. Then Shalmali, bombax tree, Kusha grass, Karonika mountain, Shakha pine tree, and Pushkara maple tree. So all are having the word Dvipa is from an older form, Duhipa, that means 2 sides covered by water. So children, you are having the 7 Dvipas of the world as conceived in ancient India. This is there in your book map 3. Here the 7 Dvipas they have given there. We'll read. First is Palaska Dvipa, then you have Kauraka Dvipa, then you have Kusa Dvipa, then you have Salamali Dvipa. See the line they have given from here, and this is Madagascar island. So because of that it is Salamali Dvipa. Then you have Jambu Dvipa. This is where India or Bharata Khand, you can see Bharata Khand was there. So this is the island on which we were there, Jambu Dvipa. Then you have Pushkara Dvipa, Sakha Dvipa. So these are the 7 Dvipas. This is an ancient Indian map. This is an ancient Indian map. The cosmos they had, the order they found it to be correct. Okay, so there were 7 Dvipas and we were on Jambu Dvipa. That is the Bharat Khand you can see here. Bharat Khand. They had, actually this is complete Europe, Asia and Africa continents. Australia, they did not give any name here. So they have make these continents which is known. Actually, sailors were going around in these particular places for in boats for trade. So maybe because of that, these particular areas they have gotten connected with. So the areas which are close by, because at that time North America and South America, American continents were not discovered. So only these areas they had known. So because of that, they had divided the world into 7 islands. So here Jambudvipa in Sanskrit means a place where jambu trees grow. I already had given you the different trees which are grown in different islands. According to that name was given. The word Jambudvipa is used to refer India by Indians during ancient times. According to Puranic cosmography, the entire cosmos is divided into 7 concentric continents separated by 7 encircling oceans, each double the size of the preceding one. So the earlier one, whatever it is a double the size of it. The 7 continents of the Puranas was stated in Jambudvipa. Already I have told you. Palakasadvipa, Salamalai Kusadvipa, Karonika Dvipa, Sakadvipa, Pushkara Dvipa. 7 intermediate oceans consisted of salt water, sugar, cane juice, wine, ghee, curd, milk, water respectively. So according to them, the taste of the water was different and some was sweet also. So this is the idea, the cosmos they had in their mind. Now from your textbook, map down the ages. Map making in India from the very prehistoric times, people have been, you can see the map here, speculating about the cosmos, earth, rivers, seas, skies, etc. Often this speculation was depicted visually. We have a prehistoric painting from Jawara, please keep in your mind, in Madhya Pradesh showing land, water and the skies. Cosmographic speculation continued in the Vedic and Puranic times when it was thought that the earth had 7 islands surrounded by 7 seas arranged in a concentric circle with Mount Meru at the center. India, Mahabharatavarsha was located on one of the islands called Jambudvipa. Architects prepared elaborate plans for Vedic sacrificial altars and the buildings, and few sketches of these have survived, especially from the medieval period. We also get references to a particular of the pictographic maps depicting places, especially pilgrim centers. Sailors who sailed along the sea coast of in the Indian Ocean too may have maintained elaborate maps or sketches of the coastline giving location of ports, shoals, islands, etc. What is the difference between cosmos and universe? Cosmos means the universe seen as a well-ordered whole. Like during that time, whatever they felt like. So I told you it's a cosmos by them. Universe means all existing matter and the space considered as a whole. The cosmos, the word can be used as a synonym for each other, or you can use cosmos when you are referring to the well-ordered aspect of the universe, like how they had thought during that time. Now this is an old map of Jambudvipas. Everything is in Hindi, and in the middle they have given Mahameru. That is, Mahameru is not the Pamir knot, I told you. Already I had shown. Dakshin Mahasagar is Southern Ocean. So continent Jambudvipa, the Indian Blackberry Island, also known as the Sudarshana Dvipa, forms the innermost concentric island in the above scheme. Its name is said to be derived from jambu tree, another name of blackberry, Indian blackberry. The fruits of jambu tree are said in Vishnu Purana to be a large size as elephants, it seems. It was huge. And when they became rotten and fallen upon the crest of the mountain, a river of juice is formed from their expressed juice. The river so formed is called Jambu Nadi, Jambu River, and flows through Jambudvipa, whose inhabitants drink its water. Insular continent, Jambudvipa is said to comprise of 9 varshas. So our ancient Maharishis visualized that world is considered as having 7 dvipas. Again, the names of the dvipas are given. Mount Sumeru is at the center of Jambudvipa, that is a Pamir knot. The present day India is a small part of that land called Bharata Varsham. If you could obtain and see the map of those days, the present day Afghanistan, Pakistan, Egypt, Indonesia, Nepal, a part of China, and many more surrounding countries were then in Bharatavarsha. So Bharatavarsha means the entire Asian countries, including Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Tibet, Burma, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Malaysia, Java, Sumatra, Bali, Vietnam, Thailand, and all that. So it was quite huge or large country. The country Varsham that lies to the north of ocean, the snowy mountains, is called Bharatam. Now we can look into the maps made by the ancient Greeks. The Greeks are credited with putting map making on a sound mathematical footing. The earliest Greek known to have made a map of the world was Anaximander. In 6th century BC, he drew a map the then known world, assuming that the earth was cylindrical. So according to him, the shape of the earth was cylindrical, not spherical, right? Now you can look, it's there in your textbook also, this map. So you can see here, children, already Europe, Libya, Asia, the world is divided into three parts. And center they have Greece, and you're having ocean surrounded. So Libya is a country in northern part of Africa. So it is actually Africa. So Europe, Libya, Asia, or Europe, Africa, Asia, and the area where people are there, that is Greece. Anaximander the Milesian, a disciple of Thales, first dared to draw the inhabited world on a tablet. So inhabited world is Greece, okay. After him, Hecatus the Milesian, a much travelled man, made the map more accurate so that it became a source of wonder. Anaximander was clearly obsessed with visualizing the universe, how the earth related to the rest of the universe, and what the earth's surface looked like. One result of this was that he created a map of the world much more extensive than any known before it. Now you can see another map. Anaximander's world map might have resembled this one. So Europe, cold region, Asia, Africa, hot region. Actually it was given Libya because Libya is a country in northern part of Africa. And center they have given you habitat region. Habitats are places where plants and animals live. So according to them, only people or animals are living in that particular place. Anaximander envisioned the world as a shallow but broad cylinder, its depth 1/3 of its width, like a stone column, hanging freely in the air, equidistant from other celestial objects, the upper face of which alone inhabited. That means only the top part was inhabited. It is actually hanging. Okay. You can see that picture next coming, how the cylindrical shape, the modern interpretation of Anaximander's world concept. His world concept was like it was like a cylinder. Okay. So, and he was hanging from the top. Scholarly reconstructions of his map envision a flat circle of earth surrounded by a stream of ocean. His Achaemenid was seemingly divided into 1/3, namely Europe, Asia, and Libya. So these are the three divisions for it. Please keep in your mind three divisions: Europe, Asia, Libya, separated by Nile and fastest rivers and the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. So the overview of both the maps you can see here again. So possible location of the 7 Dvipas according to the Puranas. Anaximander's world map might have resembled one. After going through these two maps, kindly sit down and write down the points like what are similar and what are different. Now this is the homework for you. Compare the two maps and write similarities and differences between them. Okay. So there's a picture already given and one more picture I have given. You can keep both and you can complete your work. And we will meet with the next another two maps we will take and we will discuss on it too in the same way. So hope you understood. So we meet with the next video later.